here we are on the upper hole. Dan and Steve already making their way down. Gonna try and get a quick run in before our adult responsibilities kick in this afternoon. I think Steve has a UNC soccer game to get to. I've got some church duties to get to. This is the first section I ever did on the Haw. I think it was either late February or March of 2000. Ooh, now I'm testing my memory here. 2016? 17? Could have been 18. I think it was 2017, if I had to guess. If I remember from prior experience, like all these eddies are guarded by rocks at this level.
Pretty much, yeah. On this day, I don't think any of us knew if we were going to paddle, but unseasonably warm weather, 70 degrees by the end of the day. It was just too inviting. The upper Haw was running at about 650 CFS, and I sent a message out. Steve and Dan responded to the call, and so we went out. This is a fun section of river. It's often overlooked because the first mile and a half are mostly flat, and even a mile after that's a little flat. But it is a lot of fun. And you can notice the difference in the river from the very end. You'll see it's pretty broad and wide, to this is pretty narrow, which is kind of like most of the upper sections of the Haw, but it's a blast. You'll see some interesting things along the way. If you're up just for a float, it's definitely worth doing. You'll see here we're just kind of getting warmed up, and you just never know what you'll see.
Is that a bird basking in the water or just a... Is it otters? You see the otters? There are otters down there. They're either fighting or mating.
Those are decent sized ones. I always see tiny ones here.
Look at that. Isn't that two of them?
Yeah. Yeah, that was it. Tim noticed.
You just never know what you're going to see. We saw two otters there. I've done the Haw River 50 times probably in the last 3 years, and you just never know what you're going to see. I've only seen two otters in those last probably 4 or 5 years. I saw two within 20 minutes starting. Now you see here I'm coming up on what looks like a pretty innocent log strainer, and I was going to miss it. Had that been heavy flow, that actually could have been a bad situation there. So you never can be too careful. Make wide berth of any wood you see on a river. There's lots of great things about this section. Lots of calm, lots of time to just hang out. You'll see lots of boulder gardens, of course, that flow. I think I've done this up to about 2,400 CFS, which a lot of this gets washed over at this point. But, you know, if you're newer to whitewater kayaking and you just want to practice, you know, little eddies like I'm doing here, a few bigger rapids that you can surf on. Yeah, they're not huge. There's something to play on. Get a handle on water that's moving. You know, you never can underestimate the value of doing just stuff like this. Just get out there, getting comfortable in the boat, enjoying a beautiful day.
Dang. Oh, off kilter here. So pretty. Hey, I'm gonna do a roll real quick. I don't know why, but you gonna try to save me with that thing?
I'll save it. Completely ungreen to
The Wild Dan's way over there.
No, it's all good.
One of the things I find is if I'm ever nervous at all, just doing a roll on the river really helps.
Chilly.
So here, we're just
you
taking
that,
a break. There's plenty of depth. Yeah, it's cold, but you know, if you're not comfortable taking a practice roll on something like this, you're probably not going to be comfortable rolling when you really have to. So you might as well just go ahead and get it over with. Get your roll in. Always have somebody spot you. It seems silly. Connor's given me a hard time in the past for having him spot me. I know it seems silly, especially when you're really confident in your roll. But I've done that before, even after testing, and hit my head pretty hard on a rock below. So, you know, if in doubt, and someone sitting around anyway like Steve was, just a spot. So here we are at Sawtooth Ledge. I remember the first time I came around this corner, I came around pretty blind. In that really big canoe. Water level lower than this, I believe. Not by much though, 550 CFS maybe. It was intimidating then, not so much now. But you come around that bend and you've got a kind of first really significant rapid. Requires a little bit of movement left to right. I mean, I'll say significant, but you do have to maneuver a little bit, especially at lower water. There's a lot of pin potential, some rocks to dodge. Here I got Dan floating by. It's just fun kind of break these things down, get a look at them, play with different types of water, and just try some things out you haven't tried before. You can see the rocks float under the surface, just under there. If we get upside down, that would be pretty uncomfortable. Again, this is not high flow, not big rapids. It's good to practice. I had high hopes on this day that I would get to do some attainment, some ferries across this. It was just too low. Just too many guardian rocks on eddies and too many things to bump into. It's fun to watch Steve though. Steve was brave on this day of lots of flat water and brought his playboat. See him kind of playing around about anything he can get into. If you're used to a longer boat, something like narrow, like my Brap, it's a little bit of an adjustment getting into a playboat like that. So that's off to Steve for mixing it up, just going for it and throwing it in there.
It's pretty bony in there. It's pretty bony in there. I had high hopes for doing a little bit of an attempt.
I wanted to go over here and check out Sawtooth Ledge. You think this is why they call it Sawtooth Ledge? Obviously that's kind of sharp, pretty bony. It'd be interesting to see it higher water. I don't really remember what it looked like. I think it was just kind of flew over. How much of a wave? Just something to go over. I don't remember. I'll have to do it again at higher water and see. Now it's about this time I looked over at Steve. I saw that interesting boulder over to the right, and I made my way over to it. Just wanted to see, like, it just really stuck out on that day. I don't know if it was the way the sun was hitting it, but it just looked out of place compared to everything else. I just wanted to check that thing out. It was really shiny, almost like it had been painted. I don't think it had, but it was just interesting. So you just take days like this, you see something interesting, go check it out. You never know what you'll find.
Sorry, Steve.
I never know exactly where a lunch stop starts and stops. This seems as likely as any place to me. What I do know is this particular rapid, if it is lunch stop, starts really a series of probably about 3 to 4 miles of pretty consistent whitewater, maybe 3 miles.
I think either this set or the next set is what they call lunch stop. It's like kind of the halfway point.
From there, all the way down through, what's the other one? Little Nantahala. I'm not sure if it's called Pipeline or not, but there's a rapid right there at a pipe. And it's been given various names through the years, but 3 miles of pretty consistent whitewater. It's nothing big. It's all class 1, class 2 at bigger water. There's definitely some bigger wave trains and things that you wouldn't want to swim in. It'd be a long swim. But it's not class 3, 4 stuff. It's definitely 1 and 2. But lots to do. So if you're a beginner, just want to work out some kinks or get comfortable in your boat, this is a great section to do it in. We just wrapped up a little surfing here. Just kind of taking it all in. Days like this are just about exploring, checking things out. So much coming at you. The more experienced you get, the more you can take in. You're not just right in front of you, immediate. Saw some interesting current heading this direction. The guys, you'll see me look back here in a minute, they were still hanging out over there to the right. I decided to check out this little channel, see if I could find anything. I don't think I'd ever been down this section before, and you can see it here, but obviously I disturbed someone else that was enjoying the sun, It looked to me to be an otter that had dried out. I wasn't real sure what I was seeing.
Probably not worth going down.
But
cool.
you know, you hear me say there, it's not worth going down, but you know, this little side adventure. I saw another, what I think was another otter. I called him a dry otter. The most intelligent thing I could think of at the time, of course. But it looks like a neat little channel. Reminds you of a little mountain stream. But you know, you don't want to venture off away from your crew. So came back, caught a few more eddies. And this is why it's fun to just kind of play. You never know what type of water you're going to find, what type of little wave you're going to find, what's going to fit your boat perfect on that particular day. You know, I catch a little wave here. You can see some rocks just kind of lurking under the water there, the little dark spots. You see me just kind of chilling. You know, it's moments like this that I think about just the Earth. You've got this solar system, you know, flying through the universe. You've got the Earth going around the sun. Then you've got the Earth spinning, and then you've got storms and water upstream coming downstream. And then you find these moments of perfect balance with all that, where you just feel in zen with everything else going on, and you catch some of those waves where you're not having to give a lot of input, and just kind of surfing, and you just enjoy the moment.
It's
really
the
special
middle.
moment.
I thought you were pointing to the route. No, it's an eagle. Yeah. That's for sure an eagle. Oh, it's a vulture? You see my confidence? I'm pretty sure that's an eagle. Here I am with my absolutes. I'm like, that is absolutely an eagle. And it's probably the ugliest vulture there ever was. I think that's an eagle, guys.
Right.
Huh?
I think Dan's right.
You think he's right?
I think he's right.
Well, let's see what happens.
Head sticks out too far.
Yeah.
That's vulture.
I'm 100% sure that's not an eagle.
When I get closer, I'm changing my mind. That's vulture.
I'm doing multiple recordings so I can keep the one that I want. I'm 100% sure that's not an eagle. I'm 100% sure that's an eagle.
That's vulture.
I've never been sure it's not an eagle. I've never been sure it's an eagle.
It wasn't backlit so much.
Yeah, that's a vulture.
Maybe no.
I don't know, guys. Oh, that's beautiful.
That's an eagle.
That's an eagle.
Very wrong.
Oh, wow.
Dan, you were right.
I'm 100% sure that's an eagle.
I nailed it.
I nailed it. Oh, look at that. Oh, man. Oh. So, that's gorgeous.
I was right.
I wish I hadn't talked so much. I have to take that out.
No, you just lower it and put something majestic on it. Put some somber.
So this is Little Nantahala, is what they call it. And it's, you go, see the two pylons there where the bridge used to be?
Yeah.
You go there, but then that, eventually that like, between those two islands gives out, and you have to find a way to the right side. Yeah, to that right. There's should be several little canals over to the right. But this is where I pinned that canoe. I'll touch the rock that I hit when I go by.
So you have a moment?
Yeah, I'll send you a picture of the picture in Bob Benner's guidebook. But on that section, I drew this rapid, and I put, "Do not hit this rock." And it's like a little drawing with an arrow pointing to the rock.
So every time I get to this point in the river, I always remember this spot plain as day. I remember the rapid, I remember the rock, I remember trying to get from right to left around it. I remember not quite getting it and pinning just right in the middle of that 17-foot Old Town, that upstream edge going right into the water. It just filling absolutely up. Luckily, it was a really low day, and my inexperience didn't get the best of me. But man, what a memory!
Well, that was afterwards. Yeah. Now here I am running my mouth. I'll probably pin on it again. But it's like coming back this way. I'll see. Really?
As I float by that rock and put my hand on it, the memories flood back in from that day. All the things that it took to get me in that 17-foot Old Town coming by here. Everything that's happened with paddling in the last 9 years since that moment just all come flooding back in. Connor joining me on my journey, our journey of paddling. Kristen coming along with me to supporting me in paddling, and just so much happened between those 9 years at that one spot. The memories flood back in. I watch a couple of my good buddies float by. I share the memory with them. It's probably just a boulder to them, but they do humor me and listen to my story. Something else.
That was a nice pin. I've recovered like right here. Now, see that one upstream that's sticking out? Yeah. Look, like 30 yards up there.
You know you're floating through sections like this as you get more and more comfortable paddling. You just take opportunities and go for them. You know, boats like this brat love to be paddled. I see a wave here. Last minute decide to try and catch it. I barely do. It just gives me a minute to float, to enjoy the moment. You know, kind of push me into a little bit of a pour over eddy there. Go back, hit it one more time. You can see the rocks just working under the surface. Again, it's a little low water, so you don't want to be upside down, but it would just be a little uncomfortable. But float back here. You know, after this little section, you find one of those little channels. Cut back over to the right, to the far right channel. Makes me think my little diagram was wrong, but either way, you kind of get back into the main flow. Kind of come back over and just enjoy the rest of this little channel here. Kind of noticed the change in the water here. I think about when we first started this adventure, it's pretty narrow. Didn't seem like much water coming down.
This is nice.
It's really, I think I even comment there, this is nice, but a good bit of water coming down, a lot of stuff to interact with. Practice eddying. You got some flows going one direction, flows going another direction. I think I even caught my stern there a little bit. I think this is coming up. Dan got his stern caught in this little wave, little side surf wave here. I think he went one direction, overcorrected, but popped right back up like a champ. That's what it's all about. That's just part of the experience.
Steve's doing pretty good with that playboat. He's paddling as fast as I am. I just gave you a compliment. I said Steve was doing pretty good. I was doing positive narration. Steve's my hero. For more reasons than one.
About 2 years ago, the 3 kids and I set off for a family camping trip that we typically have every July 4th, and then Connor and I were going to meet the rest of the crew up for a fun-filled week of rivers. We left the house, and about 2 miles from the house, disaster struck. A van ran a red light, T-boned us, put us in a rollover accident. I thought our plans for the week and weekend were gone. I'd already started canceling them all. It was about that time I got encouragement from my friends, especially Steve. Steve sent me a message and said, hey, if you can salvage any of your equipment, just send it with me, and then all you got to do is figure out how to get up there. I know that's not on your mind right now, and you think you won't come up, but just give it a day or two, and I'll have your stuff. I'll cart you around. I'll do all that stuff. So that's what we did. Steve came and got my stuff, and a couple of days later, Connor and I went up and met everyone up there. We went and just kayaked different places. Went to Wilson Creek, see Connor and P5 bonding here. And that's just a weekend that wouldn't have happened. So when I say Steve is my hero, that's because he is. I look back, and that was a week that, had he not reached out, I probably wouldn't have taken advantage of that week. We would have missed out on fun with friends and time at Wilson Creek. You can probably see in my face in this photo coming up here, just absolute happiness. You can see Connor in the background. He's in his backup boat. It wasn't in great shape itself, but it saw him down some mighty fine rivers, and couldn't have done it without that. You see here, this is a view from the porch of the house we rented that weekend. See Connor here wading out in the Chioa River before an elf run, which was a fantastic run that, again, we never would have gotten to see. Sitting here below Bear Creek Falls, I believe. We've all run that river right side, just taking in the view. Further down, Steve did something that rhymes with swim, but notably you can see the hornet's nest that is nestled between he and I. Luckily, he didn't see any after effects of that. I like to pick on Steve. And then we finished up our Chioa run. Here we're just below the dam where Fugitive was filmed. Connor got to do his other runs. We finished up at Tellico Ledges. There's a fun field. Here's me going over Baby Falls. Definitely a bucket list item. You can see Connor come next. Go over the falls. He took a second go at it. Straightened it up a little bit. And man, what a fun time. And again, experiences that never would have happened unless Steve had to have kindly reached out. Culminated in Connor going off Bald River Falls. And to think that wonderful week was contrasted with being upside down. Not the role I was looking for. Anyway, back to our regular scheduled program.
Guys, look over and here's like... I got my potato going.
Dan's drafting off of you.
Yeah, I hear that.
Here we are at the dam. Bynum Dam, strapping up.
I have fallen on my ass up here enough times.
I have fallen on my ass up here enough times.
Yes!
Are you recording?
Absolutely.
Oh, awesome.
I have fallen on my ass up here enough times.
I mean, how could I not? This is where all the action is. All right. I'll never forget carrying that 17-foot canoe out of here, not knowing how to carry it. That's when I was strong as an ox. I had it balanced perfectly, doing a military press over my head with it. Got exhausted up here though. Rested on my head.
All right, folks. That's it. 600 CFS, upper Haw and play boat. Not sure I'd recommend.
You look good out there.
Well done.
Excellent.
You look good.
Good work. All right. Let's go get something to eat.